Margaret Ellis still woke at 6:12 a.m., 3 years after the divorce papers were signed. Her body hadn't adjusted to the quiet yet. For 20 years mornings had started with movement, closets opening, coffee brewing, footsteps crossing the hallway, someone asking where their keys were, someone needing her. Now the only sound in the house was the refrigerator humming. She poured coffee into one mug. Her hand hovered over the cabinet where the second mug used to come from. Then she caught herself, smiled slightly, still forgetting. 3 empty chairs faced her at the kitchen table. 3 grown children, 3 lives moving forward. And she was proud of them. So proud. But pride doesn't fill a quiet house. What Margaret didn't know that morning was that loneliness was about to introduce her to someone who would never exist. Started with a sentence. Not romance. Not charm. Just recognition. Hello, Margaret. I saw your profile and something about your kindness stood out to me. Kindness. That word stayed with her. Because kindness was the language she had spent her entire life speaking. Daniel said he was a captain in the United States Army. He said his wife had died from cancer. He said his daughter, Emma, 8 years old, lived with his mother while he was deployed overseas. He said loneliness was something he understood very well. Margaret didn't answer immediately. She prayed first.
Lord, if this is not from you, close the door.
2 days later she answered him anyway, because sometimes doors don't close. Sometimes they wait for us to notice they were never doors at all. Daniel wrote every morning, without fail. Consistency builds trust faster than charm ever can. He remembered her children's names, David, Claire, and Emily. He asked about her church. He asked about her favorite Bible verse. When she told him Psalm 34 verse 18, he replied, Daniel's message. That verse carried me through losing my wife. I read it the night she passed. I haven't been able to read it since without crying. Thank you for sharing that with me, Margaret. Grief recognized grief. Trust deepened. 3 weeks later, Margaret asked if they could speak on the phone. Margaret. Daniel, I feel like I know you so well through these messages. Could we talk sometime? Just to hear your voice. A long pause. 3 dots appear. Then disappear. Then appear again. Daniel. Margaret, I wish more than anything I could call you right now. The base we're stationed at has communication blackout protocols. Calls are monitored. I could lose my position. I hope you understand. Your messages are the only thing keeping me going out here. Margaret stares at the screen for a long moment. Then she types back. Margaret, I understand. I'll keep writing. What Margaret didn't realize yet was that someone who always has a reason you cannot hear their voice is already giving you the answer. He never asked immediately. He mentioned his daughter Emma first, then her school supplies, then how hard it felt being far away. Daniel, Emma's teacher reached out to my mother. She needs new shoes and her school materials before the semester ends. My military account is frozen while I'm overseas. There's nothing I can do from here. I hate even mentioning it. Margaret doesn't hesitate long. Margaret, don't be embarrassed. Tell me how much. Emma shouldn't go without. She opens her banking app. The transfer is $300. It feels like nothing. First transfer. $300. Daniel, you have no idea what this means to me. You are a blessing in my life, Margaret. Emma would love you. Margaret smiled at her phone. No one had called her a blessing in a very long time. That sentence stayed with her longer than the money did. It would not be the last time she helped him. The first warning came from Linda. Lunch table. 12-year friendship. One quiet question.
I'm happy for you, Margaret. I really am. But have you actually spoken to him? On the phone? Heard his voice? No, but he explained why. The base has restrictions. He's in a sensitive position. That worries me. I looked something up last week. There's a whole thing called military romance scams. They use fake soldiers. They ask for money. Margaret, he's asked you for money. Daniel is not a scam, Linda. He's a grieving father who's deployed overseas trying to keep his daughter's life together from thousands of miles away. I know the difference.
Linda doesn't argue, but she doesn't forget either. because sometimes the people who love us most arrive just after the door has already closed. That night Margaret had a dream. She stood in a long hallway. At the end was a door. Daniel stood behind it, calling her name. When she opened the door, no one was there. She woke uneasy. She picks up her phone. A new message from Daniel. She begins to smile. She doesn't pray about the dream, because hope had already answered the question. The requests didn't arrive suddenly. They arrived rhythmically. Week 3 food access problem, $450. Week 5 transport delay, $800. Week 7 military account restriction, $1,200. Week 9 Emma's medicine, $650. Week 11 Daniel's mother's illness, $1,750. Week 14 emergency legal fees, $3,400. Week 17 travel clearance to come home, $2,800. Week 20 final clearance wire, $4,600. Total sent, $15,950. Each request arrived with apology. Each apology arrived with gratitude. Each gratitude arrived with affection. And affection makes sacrifice feel reasonable. By month 4, her savings account was empty. By month 5, her credit cards were maxed. By month 6, the calls from the bank started. And still, she believed she was helping someone she loved. Margaret stopped sleeping, stopped concentrating, stopped returning calls. Stress followed her everywhere. Eventually, her supervisor called her into the office.
Margaret, I want to start by saying how much your 22 years here have meant to this school. This is genuinely one of the hardest conversations I've had to have. Your focus has changed significantly over the past several months. Errors are up, families have noticed, I have tried to give you space, but I can't protect the position any further. I'm sorry.
Margaret nods. Slowly. She doesn't cry in the office. She waited until she reached her car. Hands still on the steering wheel. Rain on the windshield. She cried longer than she ever had before. Not only because she had lost her job, because she already knew, sitting in that car, that something else had been disappearing for a long time, and she had paid to lose both. That evening Daniel sent another message. His mother needed emergency treatment. He needed help immediately. Margaret stared at the message for a long time, then typed, "Margaret, I don't have anything left, Daniel. The account is empty. I lost my job. I have nothing." Sent. 3 dots appear on his side, then disappear. The clock on the wall reads 8:47 p.m. He never replied that night. Not the next morning. Not ever again. And in that silence, Margaret understood everything. She didn't tell anyone for 2 weeks. Then she told Grace. Grace was 71 years old. She had buried a husband and a son. She did not offer easy words.
I prayed before I answered him. I told God, if this is not from you, close the door. And he didn't. So I thought that meant something.
How long did you wait after that prayer before you answered him?
2 days.
Did you hear anything in those 2 days? Any unease? Any hesitation?
Yes, but I thought that was just fear. I thought I was being afraid of something good.
Oh, Margaret, it's not always easy to tell the difference, is it? Baby, that unease was the closed door. God was not silent. He answered you the very same night. You just needed the answer to be Daniel.
I needed someone to need me again.
I know, and there is no shame in that. The shame belongs to the man who looked for that need and used it, not to you.
Grace is quiet for a moment. She looks at the cross at the front of the sanctuary. Grace takes Margaret's hand. They sit together in the light. It was the first moment since Daniel disappeared that Margaret felt like herself again. Not fixed, not finished healing, but herself. 2 weeks later, she filed a report with the FDC. Her hands trembled the entire time. She filed it anyway. She called Linda.
I should have listened to you. I know, I love you. Come over.
She called Emily next. Emily cried first. Margaret cried second. And that was enough, because healing often begins with telling the truth out loud. Thursday night group. Women with different versions of the same story. Financial loss. Trust loss. Identity loss. Margaret didn't speak the first night. Second night, 2 sentences. Third night, everything. And for the first time since Daniel disappeared, she did not feel alone inside her own story.
Hey, Emily.
Emily called one evening.
Mom, the FBI contacted the task force handling your case. They connected 47 other women to the same profile. 47, Mom.
She didn't feel angry. She didn't feel shocked. She felt certain, because suddenly her story was no longer only hers. It belonged to everyone who hadn't heard the warning yet. 2 years later, Margaret still wakes at 6:12 a.m., still makes coffee, still reaches toward the cabinet where the second mug used to come from. But now she pauses for a different reason. Not because she forgot, but as she remembers. Loneliness is not a character flaw. It is a human condition. And God does not shame us for it. But He does send warnings. Sometimes through friends. Sometimes through dreams. Sometimes through the quiet question we answer too quickly. God was never silent. She just needed the answer to be Daniel. Until she didn't anymore. The captain who never called never existed. But the woman who survived him is very real. And she is still talking. And somewhere tonight, another woman is reading a message from someone she has never heard speak. And maybe now she will listen differently.